of the secrets to exposure for your business lies within supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs. And that is why the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce is here, to connect Black businesses from the desert to the sea. Let's join hands to empower and sustain our community. By becoming a member of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, you can grow your business and increase your clientele. With our innovation, we'll generate new businesses and get new customers. And we'll connect new mindsets with businesses from across Southern California to help bridge the wealth gap. Let's connect, build, and grow together. Join us now at blackchamberofcommerce.org.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Weekly Chamber Podcast. I'm your host, Nikisha Bond, VP of Corporate Affairs over here at the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, where we have 15 chapters from the desert to the sea. We hope that you will join one of them, because the great thing about the chamber is that when you join the chamber, you're invited to all of the chapters. And so we have so many different things that are always happening. So we're going to be going through all of those things. And of course, we're going to do a training. I don't have my notes, but I will give you guys a link to download what we're going to be talking about today, because no, I'm tired. Are you tired? I'm feeling tired. And so I was thinking maybe we should do a reset. And I think of a reset as just, sometimes you need to acknowledge where you are and kind of reset so that you can get to where you want to be. And that's always in life, because sometimes we forget the little stuff. And sometimes we can get so inundated with all of the things that are happening that we forget to take care of ourselves. So we're going to be talking about that today. But before we do, I want to talk about some of the events that we have coming up, because you guys know with 15 different chapters, we always have something going on. So let's go through some of the mixers. We'll go through some of the events, and then we'll get to our training. Before, I was doing like a training in between the mixers and the events, but you know what? I like to just get it all out of the way, separate things. Okay. So first up, we have free headshots. If you're looking for a headshots, our Riverside chapter has just been reactivated. I am so excited. They are going to be having their first mixer this Thursday, July 30th, which is going to be over at Parkview in Riverside, at Parkview Hospital over there at Riverside. So first impressions are everything. So if you were looking to get some free headshots, if you were in the Riverside area and you were looking to connect with people, this is going to be a great mixer for you to go to. I love the Riverside area because we've been with Parkview now for, man, it must be at least 10 years. And that just goes to show you the reputation that the chamber has in the community, that the hospital's like, yeah, you have your mixers here every month. That's great. We'll wait for you. So whether we had a president or we didn't, they were always there for us. So I'm really excited. Hopefully we get to have Jadison come out and talk to us a little bit. I want to get all the presidents to come on the weekly show, but they want to come. It's just me. I forget to invite people to the last minute. I wake up and I'm like, oh, what are we going to do for a show today? Maybe I should invite. And then I'm like, well, not everybody's like you, Nikisha. They actually like to have a plan. They would like for you to have this thing all sorted out before you bring them involved. And I'm like, what? Okay, fair enough. So that is our last mixer for July, but that doesn't mean it's our last mixer. Oh, no. So that's in Riverside. We're also going to be over in Pomona. So on August 3rd, we're going to be in Pomona. Hold on, let me see. Make that a little bit bigger for myself. On Park Avenue. And they're going to be talking about sales systems, vendor readiness, customer retention, partnership. And the reason why I love the chamber, and when I was deciding to be with one chamber over another, part of the reason why I chose the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce was because of this. Because you can go and get your headshots in Riverside on the 30th. Then you can come over here in Pomona and learn about sales systems and vendor readiness and partnership agreements. So I love the variety that it involves. So when people are saying you can sign up for one chamber and just have one membership, and they said, here, you can sign up for one chamber and have 15 different memberships, I'm like, well, duh, 15 is way more than just one. So maybe that's just me, but I love that. So make sure that if you're in the Pomona area, go over there and network. And this is what I got to tell you guys about these mixers. A lot of times people will see these mixers and they'll think, oh, well, I don't know anybody. This is how you get to know people, guys. People don't just come out and try to find you. You got to go and get to people. And the great thing about membership is that when you become a member, these events that I'm showing you right now, the one that's happening on the 30th, the one that's happening on the 3rd, and this one that's happening in Barstow on the 4th, free for you every single month, all 15 chapters. So if that's not a deal, I don't know what is. So let's see, what do we have going on in Barstow? So Barstow is going to be on August 4th, and all of the chapters have their own day. So like I'm down here in Temecula Valley. We just had our mixer. It's the last Tuesday of every month. Riverside is the last Thursday of every month. Barstow and Pomona are the first. I think that's Wednesdays. And what is this? Thursday? Forget all the days. But if you go on the website, that's scrolling down at the bottom, you can go and check out all the different chapters. But we are going to be up in Barstow on the 4th, and we're going to be talking about how to move in a room full of vultures. Ooh, I was telling you guys last week, I did a whole series on the 48 laws of power because I'm like, even if we're not going to be that way, we need to know how other people are operating. It's very important because you might be going in the room with all this light and love and excitement, and then you get there and you're dealing with a bunch of vultures and you don't know how to maneuver, right? So it's better to figure out, how are they moving? How do you move when you're around people like that? You know, a lot of what we do here in the business world is very psychological. Buying is a psychological thing. Selling is a psychological thing. You know, running a team is a psychological thing. So we do need to make sure that we are learning all about the psychology that comes along with moving in different rooms and meeting with different people. And, you know, what is appropriate in this room is not appropriate in that one. And how can you be a chameleon? How can you adjust yourself to kind of fit what room that you're walking into? And I know a lot of people don't like that, and I get that. I understand that. It might feel like you're being fake. Really, I think to think of it as just being dressed for the proper occasion, right? Dressed for the job you want, not the job you have. So that's what's happening on August 4th up there in Barstow. Okay, so is that all the mixers? Yeah, that's all the mixers that are going to be happening. Not all the mixers that are going to be happening, just the only flyers that I have. But what event that we have coming up that you guys, I have been shouting from the rooftops. We are going to be on the Queen Mary for the Business Summit and Casino Night. You guys, these are the events that are transformative. If you were an MLM, this would be like your quarterly event that you would go to. These are the types of events where it allows you to get all this training all squished into one so that you're not having to go all these different places to get things about marketing, sales, AI, business readiness, grants, funding, all the different things that you want to know about. You definitely want to make sure that you're here. We should be releasing the speakers very soon here. I know that we have a grant writer. I know we have some funding people coming out. I know we have some state and city representatives coming out. So this is going to be a great time. We're going to be on the Queen Mary, you guys. I didn't even know they did events like this on the Queen Mary. And so it's one of those ships that's been out of commission for a really long time, and they've turned it into a conference room / hotel. So if you're looking for a date night, if you want to have something fun to do, this is definitely where you want to be. And I love these events because they're business write-offs. And I can tell you, since I got into business, all of my vacations are all matched in with business because I'm like, why would I take a vacation that's not a write-off? I don't know. Maybe you like to do that. I don't. I always try to find some business anywhere we're going. Don't talk to my accountant. Anyways, before we go on to the next event, let me go ahead and show you a quick video. Hopefully it plays. If it doesn't, I'll stop it, or I might just keep it going because sometimes I start jazzing out to the music. All right, let's go ahead and talk more about the Business Summit.
Legacy. Join leaders, entrepreneurs, professionals, and visionaries from across Southern California for the Black Excellence Business Summit 2026, presented by the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, Long Beach chapter, on Friday, August 21st, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Connect with influential business leaders, discover new opportunities, build powerful relationships, and gain valuable insights to elevate your career, business, and community impact. Then, the celebration continues with an unforgettable casino night on Saturday, August 22nd, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Experience an evening of networking, entertainment, gaming, prizes, and purpose aboard the historic Queen Mary in Long Beach.
Every ticket helps support the youth-build organization, empowering young people ages 16 through 24 with opportunities in education, leadership development, workforce training, and lifelong success. Best of all, come build connections. The Black Excellence Business Summit and Casino Night 2026 at the Queen Mary in Long Beach,
where excellence meets opportunity, and together We build the next generation of leaders.
Register today
And be part of the movement.
Yes, yes, yes. Make sure that you register today. Tickets are selling so fast. I want you guys to make sure that you come and be a part of this historic event. We've never been on the Queen Mary before. We've done this event for the past 4 years, but we have never been at such an extraordinary event. So I really hope that you guys will come out and make sure that you make it a date night, make it a business expense. Have a great time. It's going to be a really great time. Okay, what else do we have? We have the Black Health and Fitness Business Expo. This is the 4th in Inland Empire. It's going to be at 624 West 4th Street in San Bernardino from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We are seeking panel participants. So if you are interested, make sure that you go to the website. You can email info@blackchamberofcommerce.org. Right down at the bottom, you can also email Lou or give her a call. All of this stuff is on our social media. So if you need this flyer so that you can go ahead and be a part of that. And one of the things that you got to understand is what people are always saying, what is the purpose of a chamber? Like, what do you guys even do? We provide platforms, right? So if you are looking to learn about stuff, you can go to the business summit. You want to have fun, you can go to the golf tournament. You are a business or health expert, you want to be on a panel, you want to be elevated to a community leader. That's the opportunity that the chamber offers. And, you know, when you get older, sorry, not just when you get older, but when you're in business, a lot of times it's not just what you know, it's who you know. And I know that before we got into business, when we first started off in business, I didn't know about a chamber of commerce. And when we finally found out, it was like, oh, this is what you're missing. Because, you know, I think one of the things that appeals to people about the MLM market is because you get a team of people that are there helping with you and you're all fighting for the same thing. But when you're out here on your own, you feel like everybody is your enemy and there's nobody where you can turn. There's no, you know, support. There's no help. And that's why I love Chamber of Commerce, because that's exactly what they're designed for. Businesses, business to business, making sure that you can connect so that you can meet, because all you need is one person. You don't need everybody in the world. One person can absolutely change your business. So make sure that you're getting connected. I'm always going to be talking membership, because I want you to get supported and I want you to feel like you're not alone, because it makes a big difference, especially with the ups and downs of business. It's like some days you're great. You know, you got calls coming in, you got money flowing, and then there's days where it's just dry as the Sahara Desert and you're out there struggling. And when you have people who can help you and support you and encourage you, it makes the journey just a little bit sweeter, right? Okay. What else do we have? Fashion show. Oh, that's not the fashion show. Hold on. You removed. There you go. The fashion show. So this is happening October 3rd up in the Palm Springs area. This is the 5th year of the Faith and Fighters fashion show. And we, on the 18th, we just had our model. So if you were a model, you missed your opportunity to be in the show. We already have our designers set up, but go to the show. Make sure that you connect with people. Get in there so that you can be there for next year. Because when you're not in the room, when these decisions are being made, that's how you miss out. And so a lot of people are like, well, how do you get an opportunity like this to be the head person of a fashion show? You get to be involved in this. You get to know people. They remember your name when it comes up for stuff like this, because most of the time people are doing business with people that they know and people that they like. So that's why you want to get connected. That's why you want to come out and come to the different events so people see you and they know you and then they can give you an opportunity. But anyways, let's make sure that we come out here. This fashion show, I've gone out here to this fashion show so many times. It is a great event. It's for cancer survivors. It's for anybody, actually, but it's during October, so it's always Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we always do this in order to support the community. So make sure that you put this on your calendar, even if you're not going to do anything other than just come out and support your community. Okay, what else do we have? Let's see here now. We have another event happening out in Barstow on November 7th. They're going to be having their annual awards banquet. Each chapter, so we have awards banquets that come from corporate. We also have awards banquets that are chapter specific. And if you're saying, like, how do they decide what events they're going to do and who they're going to reach out to? You need to get on a board. Listen, I can remember the time that I decided to get on a board, and it absolutely changed my life. And I'm just one of those people in general. Like, I'm so nosy. I got to be up in everybody's business. So that's why I was like, yes, I definitely want to be on the board. How are you making these decisions? Who are you talking to? I want to be in the room. So if you want to be in the room, make sure that you're going to this event. It's going to be at Los Domingos. That's up there in Barstow. This is their annual awards dinner that they do. They're going to have Nikki Granger out. She's going to be a fantastic speaker. She wrote an incredible book. Oh, do I have it with me? Hold on. Do I have it? Yes. See, 7 Keys. She has a really great book, 7 Keys. And she has these cute little keys that come with it. It's about like promises that you make to yourself. So she was at our, what was it? In February, we had the Black Renaissance art show exhibit, and we also had our authors come out. And she was one of the authors, and that's how I got her book. She's going to be speaking out there. So again, look at that. Look at how many opportunities people are getting by being in contact with the chamber. Nikki, for example, she's VP of the chamber in general. She's also a guest speaker. She wrote a book. She's getting her book promoted. And can you do those things on your own? Of course. But is it easier when you have a team? Absolutely. Okay. So I think that's the rest of the events for the rest of the year. But in January, we are already back on it because every year, I think this is our 7th annual. Look at this, guys. 7th annual San Bernardino Dr. Martin Luther King Service Awards dinner, which is going to be happening right before the actual day. And so the dinner is great. So we celebrate all the community leaders. This is happening up in San Bernardino. But everybody is able to come out, and we welcome everybody from everywhere. So make sure that you get out to that gala. And then on Martin Luther King Day, which is going to be Monday the 18th, we're going to have the big parade in San Bernardino. That's when all of the high schools, all of the middle schools come out. They flood the streets. We have a huge parade. They shut down all of downtown, and everybody ends up on 624 West 4th Street for the extravaganza. They've got a stage. They've got people singing. They've got vendors out there. It is a great time. People have so much. And I remember they used to do this a while in the community, and then it got let go. And then they asked us if we could bring it back. And so the chamber is always looking for opportunities like that. And so even if we've done this longer than 7 years, but 7 years consecutively. So it just goes to show you how rooted we are into the community. And so when you're able to join and get your membership, you're able to be a part of all of this. You get to stay abreast of that. You don't have to just watch me on these weekly shows to see what's going on. You'll be in the know. Another thing, too, is that if you are a member, I just sent out a whole sheet of all the different things that are happening. I know today they had, what did they have today? There was a training today. Hold on, I'm looking at my calendar. It was Access to Capital with Pacific Community Fund. One of the things that we're learning, or that I just learned, is that the state of California, the Treasury Department actually has guarantees for loans. So if you know who to talk to, you know what to reference, you can get approved for a loan that you might not normally qualify for because the state of California is backing the loan. Now you might be saying, Nikisha, how do I get that information? Well, you should have been at our business summit because that's where she gave out the information. But become a member, send me an email and I will give the information to you. I'll send you the links. There's 2 different banks that you can work with. Both of them will accept this. And so if you're looking to get funding for your business and maybe your credit's not that great, or maybe you have some other issues that are going on, this is going to be a great opportunity for you because, like I said, the state of California Treasury Department already has funds set aside in order to support these types of businesses. So this is the getting into the know that we have over here at the chamber. So I definitely hope that you will join us as a member, not just as a spectator, because you need to be in charge of your life. And when you can get into a position where you can have access to people that maybe you couldn't have access to on your own, you're going to see the benefit. Okay, let's do a quick commercial break and then we'll get right into our training.
Good news for the Southern California business community. Now you can add your business to the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce Business Directory complimentary. We have been working tirelessly to build a list of Black-owned enterprises in Southern California. This is an excellent way for you to be a part of an expansive network and find your ideal customers, business partners, and vendors. So don't waste time. Visit blackchamberofcommerce.org today and add your business today.
Welcome back. You are joining Nikisha Bond on our weekly chamber podcast. So excited you decided to join us today. If you missed the first half, we just went through all of the different events. You can go to the social media and get all the information on that. But now we want to get into our training. So like I was telling you guys earlier, I was like, man, you know what? Sometimes you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you just need a reset. And so earlier this year, I actually did a reset. It's absolutely free. I'm going to send you, well, I'm going to put the link down here so you can download a free workbook that I did And I created it just for this specific reason, is that sometimes you need to zoom out of your life so that you can zoom back in and get focused. And we get inundated with so many things and things get piled onto our plate that sometimes you need to stop and figure out where you are and do a reset. I like to do a reset usually at least once a quarter, because usually, at the beginning of the year, you make your goals and then life just starts to life on you, right? And then things start to get out of hand and other things start to come in the way. And then I go back and I'm like, no, let me reset. Let me get back to focus on what I want and where I'm going. And sometimes it's hard to do that when you're just kind of thinking about it. So when you have a process, it really does help you. So I did create a whole guide. So you can go to my website, nikishabond.com, click on courses. There's a reset, or go to nikishabond.com/reset. And that'll take you right to the reset. There's 5 videos there. And it goes through, it's like a 5-day reset program. So day 1, you want to know where you are. Day 2, you're going to set your direction. Day 3, you're going to reset your environment. Day 4, you're going to build your vision and plan. And day 5, you're going to celebrate and reinforce. So it's, it's a daily thing. It's 5 days. Of course, we're not going to get through the whole thing today, but I did want to give you kind of a flavor and really just some things to think about, because a lot of what we do in Lean is it's asking good questions, because you're only as good as your questions in life. A lot of times people can't get any further in life because they just keep asking themselves the same question over and over and over again. And because they're not asking themselves different questions, they can't get different answers. And you can't solve tomorrow's thinking. You can't solve today's thinking with hold on. What's the quote? You can't solve today's problems with yesterday's thinking. Yeah, something like that. Einstein, I think, said it, to look him up. But the point is that sometimes we get stuck in a rut because we stop asking good questions. So the thing I love about the reset is that it's not about doing every single thing on there. No, it's about doing the things that help you to kind of know where you're at, make a direction of where you want to go, clean out what's going on and what's happening, set the course, and then check and making sure that you're doing what you said you were going to do. Okay. So we're just going to kind of go through this, and I'm going to read it in general, and we're just going to talk about whatever I feel like talk about it. But if you have something you want to talk about, leave it in the comments. I am happy to adjust. I'm happy to listen to whatever it is that you want to talk about. Okay. So the first day is a self-assessment, standards and behavioral awareness. So I got this from actually Tony Robbins. I was watching a Tony Robbins video, and he did this whole thing about setting your standards. And he put it like this. He's like, you don't get what you want, you get what your standards are. And it's kind of like if you think about your kids, that guy, John Q, like his kid was not going to die. So they're like, the standard for his kid is like, I will get a gun and I will blow you guys all away if my son doesn't get the treatment that he needs, because that was the standard. And we will do things more for our standards than we will just for our wants and desires. So the self-assessment is to kind of see, where are you? Maybe you think you have a standard in your life that you really don't have. I meet people who they exercise. That is their thing. They're not going to go a day without exercise because that's just the standard. They say, I don't feel good if I don't exercise. So it's not if I'm going to exercise, it's when am I going to exercise? Where am I going to exercise? But if I'm going to do it, no, that's not even a question. I'm absolutely going to do it. But it's just, how am I going to get it done? Why? Because it's their standard. And that's the difference between us just wanting to have things and actually creating a life around that and actually structuring our goals around that so that we can be more successful. Because we can sit here and make an internal promise to ourselves, and then we can internally break it because there's nobody really holding us accountable. There's no structure that we've set up outside ourselves to help hold us accountable, or at least make us be aware of the decisions that we're making. Okay, so when I'm doing a self-assessment, one of the tools that I like to use is a SWOT analysis. So let's talk about a SWOT analysis. And SWOT analysis, what SWOT stands for: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Usually you do those in business, but I found that they're actually really good if you just do them personally. And it's so that you can see where you're at. So strengths, what's working well in your life right now? What are your skills, your habits, your mindsets, your resources, your relationships? What are the systems that are supporting you? So like, what do you do consistently? What areas are you feeling like really capable or confident? What parts of your life feel really stable? What habits help you to run your day smoother? Like, are you really good at your exercise right now? Have you gotten really disciplined with your finances right now? Have you, improved your relationships with your partners? Like, where are the areas that you're just winning? And I always like to start with the areas that we're winning, because I feel like it sets the tone. When we started with what we're actually doing well, then it already sets in our mind that, hey, things aren't as bad as I might think they are. They actually might be going a little bit better than I think they are if I really zoom out. So let's start with your strengths. Okay, so what's another one? Hold on, let me get my little keyboard. It'll be easier to flip back and forth. Okay. So next is your weaknesses. So where do things feel harder than they need to be? So think about areas where you're inconsistent, avoidant, maybe areas that you feel stuck. So I don't want you to blame yourself, but I want you to notice patterns. Like, what are things that are slowing you down? Like areas that you have a hard time following through, habits that don't support your goals, situations you tend to avoid, patterns that leave you feeling drained or frustrated. So like, let's say you're trying to lose weight, but you're not meal prepping. That might be a weakness. Like, I don't plan my nutrition, so it's really hard for me to stay on a plan because I haven't planned to be on the plan. You know what I mean? And in addition to that might be meal prepping. So that's a weakness that you can think about. What are some opportunities, right? So this is getting us to think about what are some openings or possibilities that might be available to you now, both personally and professionally. So what are some areas where small decisions could shift to a positive momentum? Like, you have an opportunity to get a new job. You have an opportunity to start a new podcast. You have an opportunity to hire some new people. So what are areas where growth feels possible? Like, what are some skills that you could develop or use more consistently? Is there a better use of your time, your focus, your energy? Do you have access to tools or people or support? Like, what opportunities are available to you right now? Why do we care about opportunities? Because we want to see what's possible for us. Because maybe we're not doing it right now. Like, maybe it's not our strength right now, but maybe it's an opportunity for us, right? Like, maybe I've been working out and they want me to work at this gym and become a trainer. Like, wow, that's an opportunity. I'm not doing that right now, but it's an opportunity. And you want to put that on the board because, again, we just talked about weaknesses, so we want to talk about possibilities again. And then finally, threats. What could slow you down or pull you off track if you left it unaddressed? So you want to think about internal and external factors like being burnt out, inconsistent, distractions. Is your phone one of your issues? You don't have healthy habits that are supporting you, have some financial pressure that's going on. So what are the things that are threatening to you? And the reason why we're bringing all these things out in the open is that when you're doing a reset, it's like you're cleaning out your purse. When you want to clean out your purse, you got to dump everything out. Everything's got to come out because you got to clean it. And you can't clean it when it's got stuff in there. So that's the same thing with your life. You can't clean up your life. You can't reset your life if you just have it going the same way. No, you got to get to a place where you're like, okay, let's get everything out. It's like 5S, clean it all out so I can see what I'm dealing with. And then we'll start to put things back in that work, right? Maybe some of those threats we're going to get rid of, some of those weaknesses we're going to work on, some of those opportunities we're going to put in, some of those strengths we're going to double down on. That's what we're doing. We're having a whole self-assessment to figure out where is it that we are in our journey. So, this is, okay, so another one. Let's do personal standards. So that was SWOT analysis. And what are we doing? We're just trying to look at ways that we can self-assess ourselves to figure out where we are. So personal standards. You don't get what you want, you get what you allow. Standards are the rules you live by, even if you've never written them down. They shape your habits, choices, results in every area of your life. I told you guys this before. I take a shower every day. I will always take a shower. I don't care. I could be as sick as I want to be. I will always take a shower. It's just a standard that I don't even feel right not taking a shower, even if it's the end of the day and I'm going to bed and there's no reason for me to take a shower. I will always take a shower every single day. It's just one of my standards. My kids, maybe not as strict on that standard as I am, right? But for me, it's like a non-negotiable. So, you want to know what it is that your non-negotiables are. So this exercise is going to help you to notice where you are, the habits that keep you there, where you want to go, and the habits that are needed to get there. So you can pick any category in your life that you want to do, and you want to reflect on your standards. So you want to say, where am I right now in this area of my life? Right? So where am I? What am I doing? What is the current number on the scale? Well, how much is the money on the bank? What do I say? Data, right? In God we trust. Everybody else bring what? Data. Yes, everybody else bring data. And the reason why we like data is because data is objective. When we're looking at data, we don't take it so personal, right? Once you put that number out there on the scale, it's just this objective number, right? It doesn't have anything to do with your health or, your fitness or the things that you're working on or your intentions. It's just an objective number. And we want to get there when we're doing this self-assessment because sometimes when we make it too vague and too flowery, we don't really know what we're talking about. Put the number down there. You want to know exactly where you are. What habits or routines are supporting this current state? I'm looking at you. What habits are supporting it? We don't do these things for no reason. I hope you know that. It's very important for us to walk in the light of the truth, right? And the reason why I say that is because we don't just do these things for no reason. We are getting a benefit out of it. And you might be saying, Nikisha, I absolutely am not. Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are, because you wouldn't do it otherwise. We either are running away from pain or towards pleasure. So what are you doing? And when you're honest with yourself, you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. So when you become honest with yourself, that's when you can start to fix some of the issues that you have going on. So what are your habits or routines that are supporting your current state? Where do you want to be in this area? Whatever area you chose, in business, fitness, health, whatever it is, where do you want to be? Aside from where you are, where are you going? They say, like, if you're driving a car and, like, let's say you're skidding out of control, they tell you don't look at the wall because you'll hit the wall. You got to look at where you're going. So, like, if the wall is right there in front of you, but you want to go over here, look over here and go over this way, because that's going to make you go in that direction. But if you look at the wall, you're going right into the wall. And I'm saying all that to say why? Because where do you want to be? You've got to point a direction for yourself of where you're trying to go. And what habits or routines would support this future version of me? So now it's saying, this is where I am, and this is what I do to stay there. This is where I want to be. What could I do that would support me in here? I'm trying to lose weight. Well, meal prepping would support. Having my clothes out the day before would support. I want to start saving money. Okay, well, how about you go to the cash method so that you're only spending a certain amount of cash? Maybe you're writing down all of the money that you're spending. Maybe you have like a black box account where you're putting money in and you can't take money out. So what are the habits that are going to support you to getting towards your goal? That's what you really want to be thinking about. And whether you use the SWOT analysis or whether you use the standards, basically you're saying to yourself, where am I and where do I want to be? What do I have that can help me get there? And what do I need that I don't have right now? Okay. And let's do one more. This is, again, in self-assessment. So start, stop, continue. This is a really, really quick one. And I love it because it's very, very simple. Take a behavior. What behaviors, habits, or situations no longer support your standards? And what are you going to do? Stop. See how easy that is? Boom. Number 2, what habits or actions would help move you closer to where you want to be? What are you going to do? Start. And number 3, what's already working and you want to keep going? Continue. It's not working, stop. It could work, start. It is working, keep going. Start, stop, and continue. Some of these things are so simple, but it's the simple things in life that we really miss out on because we're trying to make things so complicated to keep ourselves from what? Taking action. Because it means we're what? Having to change our behaviors. And what does that make us feel? Very uncomfortable and anxious. So whenever we're feeling like that, we do this analysis paralysis and look for all these other reasons why we don't have to stop, start, or continue. So a lot of these things are not things that you don't already know. I don't think that you don't know that you should stop doing things that aren't serving you and you should start doing things that are serving you and keep doing the things that are working well. It's not that I don't know that. It's just that sometimes you need a reminder. That's all. Okay, let's take a quick, no. Let me see. Do I have any more on that one before we go to the next one? Okay, so we will go to day 2 after that. So day 1 was all about figuring out where we are. And day 2 is going to be about setting your direction. So let me go ahead and do a quick commercial break. I had to go and scroll down to find out what I'm doing. I'm going to do a quick commercial break and then we will be right back. Let me get to the media.
Business owners are raving about the new talk show, Strictly Business with host Rich Wallace. Tune in as the top experts in business share their success stories, strategies, guidance, and advice to help you grow your business. With guests from the top companies to your favorite influencers, Strictly Business with host Rich Wallace is the show to watch for all things business. Our conversations are strictly business. We discuss new funding options, new business initiatives, best business practices, all things business explained. We provide you with the tips you need for your business, all in one morning business talk show. Be sure to tune in. Are you a business owner? Do you have a story to share? Are you able to help our audience? Then we want you on Strictly Business with host Rich Wallace. Visit the website at edgetvnetwork.net and select Be a Guest to schedule your appearance today.
Welcome back to the weekly podcast show. I am Nikisha, your host. If you are just now tuning in, welcome, welcome. We've been talking about a reset. Maybe you're just tired of where you're at and you need to get to another place. So we're going through this reset that I've created. You can even go to my website and download a free, it's absolutely free workbook that'll guide you on the 5-day journey. I've also have some videos there for you. And that's kind of what we were talking about. Because I was like, you know what, maybe you're tired. And I have just all these little tools and tips that I got from Lean. And a lot of them are used in business, but I found they're really applicable for day-to-day life too. So I took a lot of my Lean tools and business tools and kind of created a reset for your own personal use. So now we are on day 2. And day 2 is all about setting direction. So you're not trying to plan everything or fix every problem. You're just identifying what matters most right now and noticing what could slow you down if it stays unaddressed. So the first thing you want to do is you want to choose what matters most for you in this season. So it could be your work, it could be health, finances, relationships, organization, income. The thing is that life is always changing, and what goal you might have right now might change. The world is changing so fast right now, which is why I only do like 90-day sprints, because I feel like within 90 days, if I can even make it 30 days with the same goal, that's also amazing. It's not like the major goal isn't staying the same. The major goal is never going away, right? We're still marching towards the high goal, but the day-to-day goal, maybe like what I thought I was going to get done or what I thought I was going to work on, might pivot and change. And so it's really important that you pick out what's working for you. Even though I might be in a season of focusing on business, maybe you're in a season of focusing on health or work or finances. It's whatever it is for you. So list your goals that you want to consider and narrow it down to the top 3 goals, right? You don't have to fix everything. You just want to fix the top 3 goals. And how do you decide which one? What goals will make the biggest positive difference in your progress right now? If a goal is ignored, what creates stress or frustration? What aligns with the standards that you defined on day 1 or when you were setting your standards? And what goals are just truly important, not just urgent or noisy? So you want to get down to about the top 3 goals that you want to work out. Remember, we can do anything, but we can't do everything. And a lot of times when we try to do everything, we end up being a jack of all trades and a master of none. So I want you to be a master of all jack and trades. Whatever, metaphor is lost. Let's keep going. So, root cause analysis. So understanding what's really getting in the way. So a lot of times, why haven't I made progress on a goal? If you answer honestly why until you get to the deeper issue, this is really going to help you. And one of the things that I find really interesting about this is you might find that maybe it's actually not as important as you thought. Because sometimes they can be other people's goals that have been imposed on you. And you feel like you need to make it your goal. But when you start doing the why, you realize that's actually not my goal. That actually doesn't get me where I want to go. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to be selfish for the good of others. I want you to be so selfish and making sure that everything you need is taken care of so that you can be there for others, so that you can support others. Because when you feel like you're lacking and nobody is taking care of you, it is so hard to get out there and help anybody else. So I'm encouraging you, as you're going through these 3 priorities, not just set the priority, but set the priority and really dig into, why am I making this a priority? Am I making this a priority because it's really fixing my issues, or am I making this a priority because somebody else wants me to do it? And a great way of doing that is asking yourself the 5 whys. I want to lose weight. Why? Well, I want to be healthy. Why? Well, because I have this condition. Why? Well, because I haven't been eating it. Why? Because I haven't, why? And then you start to get down to the real root cause of what it is that's happening to you. And when you get there, you start to deal with the root, that's going to alleviate so many different symptoms, because you might find this one root cause was actually like 3 or 4 different symptoms. And once you start to get to this, all those others just disappear. That's why it's important just to dig down, because sometimes, like I said, we just say, I need to do this. And then you dig down and you're like, maybe it's not a priority for me. Maybe I don't care that much. And that's important. That is a signal. You should not ignore that, because what's important to you is the most important thing, because your life is the most important thing to you. So you got to make your goals and your dreams and your hopes and your aspirations the most important thing, because nobody else is. Nobody else is. Why? Because you are the most important person to you. So you got to make your goals and dreams the most important thing to you as well. Anyways, I hope that that's helped somebody who's been struggling with a little people pleasing, which I Sidebar, don't understand. Don't understand people pleasing. I have no desire to please anybody. Like, why would I want to please you before pleasing myself? That doesn't make any sense to me. You're going to talk anyway. You're going to talk whether I please you or whether I don't, because maybe I do it this way. Sorry. Rant over. I love you guys. I love you people pleasers. I pray for you guys because I hate to see you guys being taken advantage of. So if I can offer a people pleaser anything, take care of yourself first and others will be okay. I promise you they'll be okay. Rant over. All right. So some examples of the 5 whys. Like, let's say that you have a goal to improve your financing. So why do you want to improve your financing? Because I'm not saving. Why are you not saving? Because I overspend every month. Why are you overspending? Because I don't track my expenses. Why don't you track your expenses? Because I feel overwhelmed by budgeting. Why do you feel overwhelmed? Because I don't have a system that I trust. That's a good one to get down to. So the root cause is the lack of a simple, supportive financial system. So you're afraid of it, so you avoid it, and it starts causing all of these different issues versus, what do I say? Walk in the light of the truth. Let's walk in the light of the truth. And once we do that, all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, how can I get a system that can help support me and my finances a lot better? And then once you get that system in place, whether it's rounding up on every coin that you do to help with your savings, whether it's opening up an account that you don't have access to with a card, whatever it is, it's going to help you when you start walking in the light of the truth and realizing that's something that you need to address. Okay. Another one. This is on defining the direction again. So define, cause, fix, support. So choose the right problem to work on. Select only one problem. And you're going to choose the right problem. Do the 80-20 thinking, right? What's something that is going to, 20% of your effort will take care of 80% of the problem. So, you can use what we decided in the first day as some of the things or some of the other things that you've done. But what you want to do for the define is, what is one problem that you are choosing to address, right? Cause, what's causing this problem? Use your root cause analysis. Fix, what change, action, or adjustment can improve or reduce this problem? And support, what habit, routine, boundary, or system will help this improvement stick? So when we're defining where we want to go, a lot of times, if we knew how to get there, we would just go, right? If we just knew how to do it, we would. So part of the reason that we don't achieve our goals is because somewhere we're kind of stuck. Usually it's a mental stuckness. And doing these types of exercise really helps you kind of block down different things, prioritize different things, get really clear on what it is that you actually want to work on and what you actually want to reset. So, you know what, guys? I talked a long time because we are running out of time. I'm actually going to go ahead and get ready to wrap it up. And then next week, we'll go through the other 2 because I still had 3 more days that I wanted to go. No, 3 more days that I wanted to go through, which is day 3, designing your spaces, day 4, which is building your vision and your plan. And then day 5 is celebrating and reinforcing your behavior. So we will go through the rest of that next week. I didn't think it was going to take me that long. Of course, I didn't start on time. Don't judge me. I got time blindness when it comes to this. And you know why? It's actually because my trainings end up taking me longer to prepare than I thought or to think of than I thought. Because like I said, I'm doing it last minute. Anyways, that's enough confession from Nikisha Bond. I really appreciate everybody joining us today on our weekly podcast. We are here every Wednesday at 5 p.m. supporting the Chamber and all the activities that the Chamber has going on. Like I said, there's 15 chapters from the desert to the sea, including corporate, who is always doing events. So there's always something going on. There's always something to do. There's always ways to get connected. We even have chapters right now that are missing presidents. So if you are excited or want to get on the board, please go down to the Chamber website, send an email to info@chamber.com, blackchamberofcommerce.org, so that way that we can get your information and reach out to you. With 15 different chapters, it's always, everybody's always transitioning. So there's always opportunities. I started off as a VP down in Temecula, then I became a president in Temecula, and now I'm here in the corporate office. So, there's lots of opportunities here. If you want to make a way, a way can be made for you. So I hope you guys got something out of the training today. I hope that you guys are going to join us on our business summit that is happening on August 21st. That is a huge event. So I don't want anybody to miss the Queen Mary. Don't say I didn't tell you. You're going to want to be there because, like I said, if you are a member, please make sure that you email me and I will give you the links to those loan departments where you can get the loans where it's backed by the U.S. Treasury. So it's easier for you to get approved. If you are a member, please send me an email and I will give you those links. Otherwise, I will see everybody next week. Thank you so much for joining us, and everybody have a fabulous day. Bye.
One of the secrets to exposure for your business lies within supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs. And that is why the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce is here to connect Black businesses from the desert to the sea. Let's join hands to empower and sustain our community. By becoming a member of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, you can grow your business and increase your clientele. With our innovation, we'll generate new businesses and get new customers. And we'll connect new mindsets with businesses from across Southern California to help bridge the wealth gap. Let's connect, build, and grow together. Join us now at blackchamberofcommerce.org.